It's another Saturday evening, and I'm glad to be in your company once again here on the Joy Prime channel on Naughty TV. This is Autograph, and it brings you the lifestyle of your favorite people. Of course, today, I'm very sure that we're going to have an exciting time because of my guest. Now, he's a cool, smooth-talking dude who made his break on the silver screens with a series called Things We Do for Love. He was arguably the favorite character of many viewers because of the bad boy role that he had to play. But this man has a very big story from where he's emerged. Currently, he reigns as Ghana's best actor at the Ghana Movie Awards. A father of one, married and happy, and very, very busy. My guest I'll be introducing to you very shortly. I'm sure you've started guessing already. We'll do a round of commercials, and after that, we get to meet my guest for today here on Autograph. Before that, let me say thank you to Gorgeous by Royal Dennis for my outfit. Thanks to Royal Dennis one more time. And also, thank you to the Alisa Hotel Management. We're here inside the serene ambience of the Table Bay Bar inside Alisa Hotel, Northridge. So we begin the discussion, and I introduce my guest to you very shortly. Thank you for staying with us here on Autograph. My guest here in the studio is known in his passport as Michael Adjetey Annang, but many of you love to call him Pusher from that big break on the silver screens on Things We Do for Love. Adjetey, thank you very much for joining us. And belated congratulations for, winning that prestigious award. You were the most important man of the night, at the Ghana Movie Awards.
Well, I wouldn't say that because, there are a lot of guys and ladies, who also made their night. Yeah. So I was one of them.
But you got a lot of the attention. 90% of the attention.
Oh yeah, I did.
You took more pictures and all of that.
Right. But one thing that really surprised me that night was, the standing ovation that I received. It really, I had to really compose myself, otherwise I was going to shed a tear or two, because it was like everybody approved of that, and I was really excited that night.
What was the first thing you said to yourself when your name was mentioned?
I under my breath, I was like, damn,
I'm the man.
I've always, wanted to, mount that stage, one of those nights, and it happened to be last year, and it's just, the excitement was just to another degree, and especially, given that before that a few week or two after that, I had this, we had this delivery, and so it sort of capped up, the whole event as well. It's like a chain of events happening, and it was exciting, really exciting.
What was the first thing your wife Ellen said to you, after you received the award?
It was, I think she sent a text.
She didn't attend with you?
No, she couldn't, because as I said, she was heavily, and so she couldn't have, but we were communicating by text, and she just said, congrats, love, we made it this time.
Wow. We'll be talking about her and, the little one as well, but let's start it all over. Let's rewind. I mean, everybody likes to talk about Things We Do for Love, which obviously was the big break for you. But how did it start? Where did you come from? I mean, where did Adjetey Annang come from?
Well, I came from my mother, but look, seriously, apart from the little plays that we did back in school, I remember SOS, Tema, during Easter, Christmas. I never really saw myself as, being an actor,
What did you want to become?
To follow my dad's footsteps as a biochemist, because, we're still caught up in those days where, okay, you have to do what daddy does, so you're kind of being shepherded and guided towards that area. But however, somewhere along the line, he does travel a lot, and so it gave me some relief, because this pressure, you got to do science, So I thought that, look, what do I really want to know? For a long time, I didn't know what I wanted to do, apart from this biochemistry thing.
So as a child, when you were growing up in SOS, primary school and junior high, or what is now, JSS or junior high, you wanted to become a biochemist by
not by choice. Okay. just because daddy is
you were under duress to deliver.
Kind of, So it was tough. I didn't really understand it, but I was like, okay, and it sounded nice, biochemist.
Okay.
It sounded nice to have that title. I mean, but searching deep down, it wasn't something that I really wanted to do, and as I grew up, I realized that no, this is not.
At which point did you realize that, look, okay, this is not me. I'm not a science student, let alone become a biochemist. At which point in your life did you notice that?
Well, I realized that at a very early stage. But I didn't have the boldness, to do.
Was your father strict,
Well, he loved to balance things, strict, but sometimes.
So he used the cane sometimes.
Oh yeah, he did.
Do you remember any of the incidents?
The belt one, I remember. I relive that pain every now and then,
What happened? Tell me about it.
Well, we're told not to go to the next house to play.
Okay.
And
what was it about the next house that?
Well, this thing about our parents where we have a certain kind of level upbringing, and so you must be picky and choosy about your friends and people and so he thought that the next house where was a kinky selling house, more or less.
I get it.
But the guys were fun, man. The guys were really in charge of the neighborhood, and they crack all the jokes, and they playing on the soccer. And, Charlie, we needed to be looking in that area, but still, that you tell you that no way, don't go there. Just study your books. If you have to make any phone calls, call other people who are, in the GISs and blah blah blah. I mean, come on. So we thought that, come on, Charlie, we just wanted to be natural. So we sneaked out, my sister and I, and when we came in, we tried to come in early. But he knew. He knew that we had, and he gave us a beating I'll never forget.
Wow.
I'll never forget that beating.
I see. Do you still keep touch with those friends in the kinky selling house?
Oh, Charlie, no. Long. I don't know where they are. I have no idea.
Wow.
I have no idea. It's so sad.
Now, you were talking about, taking that decision very early, Okay, so at the point when you realized that you didn't want to do biochemistry, what then did you want to do?
You see, that was the irony. I didn't want to be a biochemist, and yet I didn't know what to do. There wasn't any alternative. All I knew at that stage was I loved movies, and I'm always fascinated by the way people just take up roles that they are not in.
Did you have any specific genres that you?
Well, all sorts, from Chinese to whatever.
Oh yeah, we all love the Chinese movies.
So it was anything that it seems to be surreal, and there's something going on actually, and so that was what I know. But as to whether I wanted to be in that field, that was another ball game altogether, and so. When I don't know whether I should cut and move ahead, but somewhere along the line, a friend of mine called Wakeford Akwaku, he sort of had this, was a member of a drama group at,
I remember Wakeford
sure. The then GTV, there was this TV theater, precisely. And he asked me to just accompany him. I just thought that, okay, why not, man? And then, lo and behold, I go there, I see the Sefa Kais, the Freda Mugis, and I'm like, oh, it's cool. I would love to be these people's mix, And so that's where it started.
You remember the year this happened?
That was in 1994.
1994.
94, 95. Thereabout.
So this was in the studio of the state broadcaster.
It was actually within the premise of GTV. That I think
toward
the back.
So what? It was an audition, or
No,
he
it
wanted
wasn't.
you to just have a feel of? What
No,
they were doing?
he thought that, look, he was just attending his normal rehearsal. He wanted company, and so I just followed him, and I just got there, and they were rehearsing a script. And actually, somebody didn't turn up that day.
Okay.
I remember very well, one Gabriel. And so the director said, look, to add to the number, for me to help others rehearse their lines, I should take up that role, read that part.
What kind of role was it?
I remember it was a guy who was going in the hand of marriage of another lady, but from a very, class kind of family. And so, that was strict with that and would take no nonsense, and he had a hard time trying to get the girl, and the girl also had a hard time convincing his dad that this was the guy she had made up her mind on. It was this parents and children kind of power play, as to this is what I want to know. I know what is good for you, that kind of thing. And so that was the role that I was supposed to play. But then the exciting thing was, when I read the part, the director was like, Am I sure I've not acted before? I was like, no, apart from the primary school stuff, nothing more. Then he made a promise that if I did come the following rehearsal date, that would be my first TV thing. I thought it was a big joke because, come on, what did I know? But lo and behold, it turned out to be my first
In 1994?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But before we go along, you mentioned, wanting to mix with your neighbors. Your dad was vehemently against the idea.
Right.
How did you manage to live the child in you back in primary school? Were you always doing that when you got to the school campus? Were you,
Well, I must say that I got my big breaks whenever he had to travel, and he did that a lot. And so that for me was more like, okay, now I can go ahead and do my stuff, even though I knew that mommy will still keep an eye on us. If there's some reports that we're gonna.
Oh, so she was not really the soft one. She.
Well, she was, but then she also wanted to, maybe be a bit balanced, where that is too strict, she comes into, soften
the
things
ground.
up, so there's a bit balance, and she did that very well. But I thought that I felt much more relieved when he was away, because you felt as if this burden was off you, even though he was a loving guy. He provided all our needs and everything, but just giving us that space for us to operate small, because Charlie, we are young guys would want to do things that sometimes people will say are risky, but then we learn from our mistakes and we grow out of it anyway. And so in school I really joined, and unfortunately, my friends in school were the naughty ones, were the very naughty ones, and
I see.
And it's amazing that some of them who took to drinking very early wouldn't even mind where I'm in the midst, and they're like, oh, child, this guy there make no worry, make it just give him Fanta, then make it go,
I see.
And they really appreciated the fact that I still was rolling with them, but yet when it comes to setting the order, this is my place.
So back in the days when you started getting exposed to everything, which was then referred to as the vice, you didn't do no alcohol, no smoke.
The good thing that saved me was when the first time I drank a glass of beer, which was under duress, peer pressure.
Yeah.
When I drank the beer, I spat it out because I was like, damn it, how can you drink a thing like
in front
this?
of your friends?
In front of my friends.
How did they react?
They cracked up laughing at me. But I just hated it from that stage.
Wow.
And that was probably my luck or my blessing. And they respected that, Charlie, the guy just doesn't like the thing. And even though I still roll with them and all that, but when it came to, that, they knew where my start.
So you still don't do any alcohol?
No.
Not really? Not even on the evening?
Well, a couple of times maybe I'll do a wine in the bedroom, but I'm trying to stay off all those things,
Never smoked back then?
I smoked a lot of baby powder in paper rolled,
Oh, I see. And that was also just to, create a scene and create...
apart from the smoking I did in the movie.
And you managed to deceive your friends with that?
Oh, well, but of course they knew. They shielded me.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see. Mm-hmm. So you never tasted the real thing?
Oh, I did. I did. On set.
Remember your first? On set?
On set, yeah.
You took your first cigarette on set?
On set.
Okay.
Yeah.
You didn't cough?
Oh, I did because we rehearsed, so I coughed a bit. And then
so you're good with, the inhale, exhale.
Yeah, through the nose as well, because I had to. I had to make it look very professional because of the character that I was playing, and so I had to do it very well. But you didn't get any urge to continue after mastering the art of just inhaling and exhaling. No, I didn't. There's this thing about smoking. Okay, that sometimes you don't want to do it, but there's certain characters that when you see them smoking, you're like, okay, Charlie,
it makes it look very attractive.
I mean, silly, but all the same, Charlie, it's very thing for me at all.
I see. Now, okay, so you grew up into that circle. You had friends whom you say obviously were naughty.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of the stunts that you did. As the naughty boys, the boys who were making things happen, who did the unusual in school. There's some of the stunts that you did. Did you ever jump the wall back in secondary school?
Oh, I tried that, but I bruised my leg because I wasn't a good jumper, sort of. So I didn't really do that a lot. I think
where was secondary school anyway?
Laboni
Secondary School. Yeah. That's in the center of town.
Precisely.
Okay.
And
how easy was it to break bounds then? Because I realized there's a nice wall around. School, yeah.
Guys always found their way. The tricky thing was during my arena as school prefect, and then here was the thing.
Hold it it there. It's getting very interesting. We're here on Autograph with the Actor of the Year at the Ghana Movie Awards, Adjetey Annang, aka Pusher. We'll do a round of commercials, and after that we return with more as he reveals what was happening in the past, a lot of the stuff that you are not in on, and it happens right here on Autograph. Thank you for staying with us here on Autograph, and my guest is Adjetey Annang, the reigning Actor of the Year. Now, he was telling us about, secondary school and how, he had to combine his real self with the bad boy character because of the company that he had. But you became school prefect. Now, if you had bad company from day one, how did you end up becoming school prefect then?
Well, you may find me in bad company, but, I still kept my discipline as far as the school authorities were concerned. And so they thought that out of the bad company, I was a good one, if you will, and so. So
you were popular in Labon?
Well, at that point, I wasn't that popular. It was just that I happened to be a saint among thieves, if you will. Okay, so and I'm saying maybe a thief as well, but the thieves, there are levels, what I'm saying. The pickpockets and those who rob the bank. So probably I was a pickpocket then. But then, so that was it. And the thing was, and these guys were naughty, man. They gave me tough time because I knew some of the culprits, but I couldn't expose them, and that was the challenge. The things that they did that it would really cause me to really draw the attention of the child. Guys, Charlie, it's too much, man. Tone down. I know that we had a housemaster who was really a thought.
Did you have a nickname for him? Your housemaster.
What was his nickname? I think they Tolo Biffy or something.
Tolo Biffy.
Tolo Biffy or something. And he was such a nuisance. I mean,
I see.
And so they really gave him a hard time. But it was tough. Trying to blend. That office of being a school prefect and making sure that there's order and faults or are punished, and still trying to maintain this brotherly, connection still going on. It was really tough, but that's what makes my mates really look back and say, Charlie. I'm the man, man. They can't forget. The young ones out there, don't practice this. Don't learn from this.
Don't do this at home.
No.
So you did a bit of politics back in school. You had to, You had to campaign. You had to do an election before becoming school prefect?
in our day, it was more like a dictatorship thing going on. You know, it was.
So it was by appointment.
By appointment.
I see.
Pretty much.
So you didn't do any interviews or anything?
As far as I remember, they had their choice, and I think it was about 3 or 4 of us, and they had to just decide on which one would be, And
how was it announced to you, that you had become school prefect?
If I remember, we were informed. We're called into the headmaster's office, and we're informed that this is the decision that they've taken. If we had any comments, if we were not prepared for that office, we should just make it clear. And well, I thought that, hey, why not? So that was it. And
your dad must have been very, very,
Oh yeah, he was. And
that's his thing.
he was, and tried to, try and give me some coaching here and there, but he didn't know what company that I was in. I had all the filler that I needed.
Wow.
But it really made him proud, my mom as well. Yeah.
So you were a science student, and you managed to blend that. I mean,
then I had switched to the arts.
I see.
Yeah, before I became the school prefect, I then switched to arts.
You switched to arts, and how easy was it for you to do that, considering that your dad wanted you to toe that line?
Well, because he was away. He was always away. He comes in, spends.
And you were not scared that he'd come back and notice that you had done this, taking this major turn?
I was growing into a fine young man.
Yeah.
And not that man.
Yeah.
So
you could tell him stuff in his face sometimes?
Well, not disrespectfully, but
you could express yourself?
Express myself to analyze my point, for him to know that, Charlie, the guy, he's growing, he's learning. Wisdom is at play. And so he would give me the benefit of the doubt. Okay, prove it, if that's what you're saying. And so it was tough for me to really stick to my books to prove my dad that this is my field and that is why I'm going to do very well here. And for him, he was just sitting back waiting for that day when I come in and it's E or C, D, 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 and said, well, I told you, let's move back to the side. So it was for me to prove a point that
You passed your final exams? Passed all the subjects?
I did.
Passed everything?
I did. I mean, and it was because of the hard work that I put in there to prove a point that my dad, Charlie, I was right, and I need you back in now. So it was more or less like kind of an agreement, an informal agreement that this was a deal, that if I'm able to do so well, then we're sticking to that. The only thing he said was that whatever field that I am going to choose, then I'm going to go to the highest. I mean, in terms of education, I mean there's no negotiation, which we agreed to.
So the School of Performing Arts,
right.
That was your next,
precisely,
endeavor in terms of education.
Yeah,
you went to the University of Ghana.
That was it.
And you were at the School of Performing Arts. At that time, you were certain in your mind that, look.
Oh yeah, I mean, way before I even stepped there, when I joined the National Theatre Company, Bibi Groma, to be precise, I was learning from people like David Donto and the rest, and there the Pusha character had taken over, and so that was an added confirmation that, hey, this is it. So
the Pusha character actually started from a Bibi Groma. It started from the stage play days.
Stage plays days. Yeah.
Okay, why the Pusha character? There's so many things you could have done. Did you choose it on your own? Did it come by default? How did it come about?
Surprisingly, I was originally supposed to play the character Bibi. Okay. But the then director, Ivan Kwashiga, after a few rehearsals...
Bibi as in David Bossman.
David Bossman's role.
Sure.
After a few rehearsals, Ivan sat back and said, you know what, let's switch the roles. I mean, he saw something that directors do see that we actors don't see. And so we switched roles. And I thought that, this guy's such a bad boy. How am I going to play this guy? What helped me play that role very well was that Bad Company. It had really begun to pay off, because I could see Pusha in this guy Aloms. I could see this guy in Nello. The exaggerated movements. It wasn't the same as the way
you were
Pusha
mentioning
worked.
their names.
Yeah, Nello, Aloms, Shagir, all those guys. They all, one had some exaggerated movement.
Yeah.
The other could just, for example, he watches a movie and comes to sort of tell you about it, and he starts from the sound the sound that plays, boom, 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 and the guy comes, that kind of, and he gives you a detailed account, and he's so he exaggerates everything, and so that element also was in there. So it was a fusion of characters, different characters from that group that I fused into that character.
The bandana, and
Yeah,
constantly cleaning your lips.
That came by accident, actually. Okay. When the role, and it just happened, and then Ivan noticed that, look, keep that, I like that. So it became a part of the character, so it just worked out. Yeah.
You must always pray for Ivan, because
man. Yeah, I mean, he's done a lot. He's done a lot for us. I owe him a lot as far as that's concerned.
I see. Yeah. So you ventured into acting. You joined the Baby Groma group, and you started growing from there.
Right. And then from there, I thought that, look, talent is okay, but it's not enough. I needed the skill in order to have variety, to make my work even more, given more depth. And so I thought that, look, the School of Performing Arts was the thing. And even at the School of Performing Arts, after my first degree, I thought that, look, Daddy's words were still re-echoing in my mind that if you want to be amongst the best, then you have to continue. There's never a stop. And so I found myself in Wits University in Joburg, where I continued my master's in applied drama, still in the same industry. And I'm thinking of going back to school, jeez.
All the best with it, But when you got that break during, Things We Do for Love,
right?
Once again, it drew you a lot of public appeal.
It did.
Now, tell me about the encounters, stepping out, meeting people, and all of that.
Yeah, I honestly wasn't prepared for what was about to happen, and so.
Were you overtaken by your popularity, the popularity you had assumed? Did you think it was way more than you expected?
Yeah, totally. I mean, it was overwhelming. I mean, I thought that, it was okay in the area that I was, in my neighborhood, in my community, that, hey, Pusha, that was it. But, I go in there and old folks, everybody's like, push it, and it's like, okay, what's going on here? I walk into a fast food joint, and, I'm almost the guy in the last, and then the lady at the counter is like, hey, and I'm like, okay, me? Oh, no, I just walked in, and then I walk in, and then the lady who is supposed to be served is like, oh, come on, Pusha, take your order, it's okay, and they're all smiling, and it was like, it was touching, and not only that, I've had a few encounters, Ring Road, one of the banks, I was just crossing to an ATM, and then this door swings open, and this pregnant woman dashes onto me. I was scared because, hey, okay. and then she grabs me and pulls me in, and there's canteen staff members are having the food. I should sit down and have lunch with them. I mean, it was happening in rapid.
Wow. Did you ever get any? I mean, I've heard of experiences by actors and actresses who play certain roles,
right?
And people see them in town and they associate them with the characters.
Oh yeah,
and they react towards them.
Oh yeah, I have one. It was Sutherland Park. I never forget that experience. We were called upon, the cast of Things We Do for Love, to grace an occasion. It was a youth thing going on, and so me, Killa, and the rest, we got there, and immediately there was this woman with a son. I'll put the son about 9-10 years.
Back then.
Back then. And then he recognized me, and so he took off. He left the grip of her mom and took off, and then came to hug me. And I was like, he said, Pusha. Then I said, hi, how are you doing? And then the mom realized that, oh, so that's the Pusha guy. And so she took off and came, held her son's hands and said, come on, I don't want you around rascals. And then she gave me a look head to toe and walked away.
Wow.
And it was
you
really,
were frozen.
I was like, oh, okay, now you're taking this too far. I am not the Pusha character, but I've had that stands out as one of those days where really wasn't a good.
And you had a lot of ladies also gravitating towards you.
Oh yeah, I mean that is normal.
Had any weird experiences?
Yeah, a few.
Like?
a few where somebody who knew. One of the lady characters who knew that this changing room was Adjetey Annan's changing room, and yet she walks in there and with her bra, and then she walks and then she opens it and is like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know you're here. And then she goes away. I mean, come on, you didn't know I was there? My name tag was there and all that. So you occasionally have, some of those.
How did you handle all of that? I mean,
well, just keeping a level head, knowing that, look, this is work.
But you're human as well, Adjetey.
Of course, but that is the more reason why you need to be very, very disciplined, because you know that, look, the temptations that come around, you can easily fall, and so every day on a daily basis, you go out there stepping out knowing that it's a battle, and you're not going to take anything.
You remember your first relationship, the first time you stood up bold enough to tell a lady that you...
I don't remember, because it didn't end well. So
it didn't end well.
I don't like remembering this one.
But at least I'm just trying to picture you then, the confident you trying to express yourself.
I didn't do much of the talking, because I didn't talk much then.
How far, when was this? How long ago was this?
94.
Between 94 and
95, yeah.
Okay.
94, 95.
Who was she, a schoolmate?
Schoolmate. She was a blue skirt. Normally, the ladies in the junior level are called blue skirts because they were the blue. And
this was back in secondary school?
Secondary school.
I see.
Yeah, and I mean, probably then I thought I was in love, man.
You thought you were in love?
I thought I was in love.
But when you say it didn't end well, what do you mean?
Because, now, just to cut it short, after vacation, I was the school prefect, so, I had this diplomacy of, trying to relate to this girl because I shouldn't be seen, going hand in hand with her. It gives a certain picture, image. And so we hardly talked or came together. When we came, it's just diplomatic, hi, how are you? And it was more of letters by communication. And so during a long vacation, I visited her home. And I met her elder sister, and then she was like, oh, hi, Adjetey, it's been a while. And you're visiting us, I guess. And I said, yeah, I'm here to see Theodora. And then she's like, oh, come on. What do you mean? And I was like, oh, I'm here to see her. And she was like, I don't know that she's traveled. I was like, to where? And then she was like, oh, no. It hit her that, probably I wasn't aware. And she felt so bad. And the thing was that she had left the country and there was no turning back. She wasn't coming back.
I see.
And so it really hit me that what could I have done to this lady, but down the line, she social media. I got in touch with her. She got in touch with me, and sort of trying to explain the circumstances under which she had to leave on, and it was bitter because I thought that there was something growing there, and even though I didn't really fully. Understand.
What does she do now? What does Theodora do?
She's in the States. I don't really know what she did because I didn't want to really. She's moved. She had moved on. I had also moved on. So I didn't really want to pry into what she was up to and all that. Just the explanation was okay. I just was cool. Yeah.
I'm imagining you angry.
Ask Shirley.
Yeah. How temperamental are you, Adjetey?
Most times I'm in control. Like it's much more controlled.
You've never burst out.
I have on set. I have.
Yeah. What did you do?
I screamed and at Shirley, at Ken, at everybody.
I see. At all of them.
Yeah,
how did they react? What did they do? What they done? And
they were stunned and shocked. They should have to be. Held up, and for me to be called into the office to sort of talk, because
what happened?
Well, Shirley and I have this rapport, and so do the other directors, whereby when it comes to intimate scenes, we need to negotiate because, way down from the Pusha days, I've never been comfortable playing intimate scenes of graphic nature.
Why?
It's just a thing with me. I think it's just...
You're more behind the door, alone with, you...
Well, but that's reality. But of course, when we're playing, and characters, I'm always a bit very uncomfortable playing very intimate scenes where it's so graphic and all that. I'm I'm one who shy away from that. I think that we can represent intimate scenes in other forms, and we could cheat, and other than just showing really realism. And so we normally would negotiate as to, okay, so if the script says I'm going to kiss, then we're going to do some kind of a trick here where I'm going to place my lip close to the cheek here, and then we'll be twisting and turning with camera angles for it to give that sense of, oh, they're really kissing. And I thought
You've never really done any real on-screen kiss?
No, a few of them were stolen. I won't tell you the names, but
you stole them or they stole?
No, they stole.
You're sure about that?
I am 100%.
You're very sure about that?
100%.
Okay.
Well, the movies are there for you to analyze. So.
Oh, okay. I'm going to
do. And,
because you're not telling me names.
No, I won't.
Were you surprised when these colleagues stole the kiss?
Like, okay, but sometimes.
And hold on. So, surprise, grab your lips, finish. What was the reaction?
It was brief because it was like, okay, when you start something, you don't get. It's not reciprocated.
Yeah.
You kind of okay. So then let me loosen it up.
Did your directors notice?
Oh yeah, they did. They thought that it worked perfectly for the scene.
Okay.
And sometimes, such scenes could be the only scene that would be the best for the day. And so, instead of me saying, oh no, we're not supposed to kiss here, I just kept my calm and stayed in the moment and, till it was over.
What did you say to each other after everything, was done and you were, what did you say to her?
We have,
or her, them?
No, it was more like we avoided each other on that particular subject and just went ahead with what other scenes were left to shoot that day.
Okay, so
we didn't really talk about it.
So it's one or more than one?
No, at least two. I think two. I remember two vividly. Yeah,
two. And what about the other one? You discussed it as well, or you played dumb about it as well?
I did.
Why if you disagreed with it?
Because I thought that if I had any issues, it should be with the director. I thought that the more that I delved into that, it would open.
That's harassment. You were harassed.
well, I didn't see it that way. I didn't want to see it that way. I thought that
So you were condoning and conniving.
No, I thought that these. One of them was more like a first timer, and for her, look, I needed to prove that, hey, this is my Oscar moment.
Okay, so the second one was an established actress, and she.
Yeah, and so it got me thinking. Why should she? Probably I just laid it down to she was in the moment and really really in character.
Tell me about these. Tell me about these. These intimate roles and how real they can get sometimes, because we have examples of people who have played roles in relationships and they've ended up together and all of that.
Yeah.
Tell me how real.
Oh, some can get real. Some do get real. Some are planned, others are not. I've been on set where somebody has actually kissed somebody and he has received a slap, instantly, because it wasn't part of the script. But there are others that still go on, and but some are real. But the beauty of this medium is that we can pretend as if it were real. There was this scene with Nashoko that I always set an example in Perfect Picture called Amachi Did, this scene where people think
I remember
we really kissed, but I had my lips here and we're just twisting and turning with camera angles. John Passer, it looked as if we're really kissing. So we can always get away with it. But some directors and some actors really want to let's do the real thing, or they just make it very liberal, and people take advantage of that. I always have this thing of there's an alternative, especially when we also have a responsibility, a social responsibility to our next generation, that they're not the concentration is not to show intimate scenes and graphic nature. There are other areas that we need to develop, which we're not developing. And if we've done that 100% and we're now focusing here, I may not talk too much, but whereby even call time, when we say, okay, we're supposed to shoot at 7, and then actors work in 11, 12, and then we start shoot at 2. I mean, of course, it adds more cost to the producer, and it means that less pay for me on next production because then he hasn't made his cash. But we all need to be disciplined and focus on those areas that keep drawing us back. Those intimate scenes are just an added thing that if you want, yeah, fine.
I would want to come back to that incident where you flared up on Shirley and Ken.
Yeah.
But let's talk about reward and how rewarding the industry has become. I mean, currently you're one of the top, male actors in the country. You should be on the high end in terms of, smiling to the bank.
Well, it's been good. I wouldn't say it could be way better.
What is good? What is good? I want specifics.
Good comparatively, if you're comparing our generation to that of the Solomon Sampers, the Jagapis, we have moved way up. And the reason is because of the Nigerian competition. And they have really helped us move up. Because
so what? A highly rated actor in Ghana can take, 20,000 Ghana cedis per movie, 15,000, 5,000 Ghana cedis? What are we looking at?
We're looking at anything between $8,000 to $10,000.
Dollars?
Yes.
Great.
Here
in Ghana.
Yeah. So we're looking at, of course, let me clarify this. Normally when you're talking international, when I say international, then anything beyond the shores of Ghana. So would be attracting, from $8,000 and above.
That's for a lead role?
For a lead role.
Okay.
But in the local terrain, 20,000 Ghana cedis, the range there. If you're going beyond that, then you're eating into the budget of the producer. Most of the time, you realize that some of our colleagues are also producing movies. What we're doing is also supporting in terms of what fee we take, that we cannot charge.
Have you had yourself in that situation where? Do you have anybody owe you up to this point where somebody didn't pay you what they were supposed to?
Oh, for a while somebody was owing me.
But how long was it, and how patient were you?
Well, close to 3 months. I was patient. It also depends on the kind of rapport that you have with whoever it is. Especially, for example, if Shirley were to owe me, I know that we've come a long way, so there could be a genuine reason why she is, and I wouldn't really bother about that, But if you're a first timer and as far as our working relationship is concerned, I wouldn't expect that you come and tell me that you don't have the cash, and so normally we have a negotiation a contract whereby it's either a deposit of 50% and then 50% after, or there's certain ways in which
the industry is definitely smiling at you guys now, isn't it?
Well, in a lot of ways, it is.
All right, hold the thoughts there. We'll come back and talk about the the flare-up, because I'm very interested in that. My sister Shirley and my brother Ken. I trust you're having a wonderful time here on Autograph, which brings you the lifestyle of your favorite people here on the Joy Prime channel on Multi TV. My name is Nathaniel Attoh, and I'm sharing the company of the reigning actor of the year, the Ghana Movie Awards, Adjetey Annan, who's recognized severally here in Ghana and outside of it. Stay right there. All right, so we've just entered the final leg, or the final lap of the show, and there's a lot to talk about. I wonder if we're able to exhaust all of that. But tell me, round up that thing with the incident. What made you flare up,
Yeah, so as I mentioned earlier, normally we negotiate about how this intimate scene is going to be like. We're not going to do the real kissing thing. We're going to, try and play around with it so that it looks good on camera. And of course, I expected her to have briefed the young lady, which I think there was a lapse there. Nobody did that. And for her, it was an opportunity for her to shine. And so she was going all out. And so we did the first take. She tried, to really. And I was like, okay. Second take. Third take, I was flaring. I was like, then I just blew it. what happened was, in the moment when she tried, I
pulled back?
I tried to sort of I pulled back, but I didn't do it very mechanical. I fused it I did it in style, and so that it looked as if I was going for her neck, and so it worked out fine. But it had really gotten too far, and so when I had cut, and the director asked whether I was okay, and then I screamed that I wasn't. No. And it was like, okay, what's wrong here? And then later on I explained to her that, look, I expected you to have, talk to her about, where I stand when it comes to intimate scenes and how we should play around it and all that. You expect me to do that. And of course she realized that, okay, she didn't. And so that had led me to flare up. And that was it. But, Shelley and I and normally we're just a part of the back end.
You move on. Let's talk about your marriage, your relationship.
Right.
Your wife Ellum also featured in Things We Do for Love.
Did she? Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
She did.
Where did you meet her? Was it there?
We met on set, actually, Things to Do for Love set. Okay. We did. Yeah.
Okay. So did it start from there?
Well, of course, it started from there, as in we knowing each other, we being the cast in Things to Do for Love. So
I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in the bit where you thought, okay, look.
So that matured in on campus.
Okay, in Legon.
In Legon.
Okay.
Because we had that foundation, when we got on campus, like, there you are, there, and then it took off to friendship, and then it developed into something, beautiful. And so Things to Do for Love, as it were, gave us that
that love foundation.
Precisely, but nothing really dramatic there, but it really blossomed on campus.
I see.
Yeah,
I see.
It did.
How does she, handle all of it? Sometimes you're in town and a few daring females come out and want to take pictures.
The good thing about on my side is that she's had some knowledge and she's had an experience in how the industry exactly, and so she knows what to expect.
Is there any reason why she didn't pursue hers?
Well, we talked about, we discussed it, because when we're getting serious that we're gonna live together, we had to look at certain things. What am I going to pursue? What is going to be my job? What is going to be hers? I thought that the two of us being in the same profession is not a good idea. That was my thinking, because anything can happen. And so if I am in acting, and today there's an order from above that, okay, the industry should just close down, what are we going to eat? So I thought that, look, pursue something. It's good for you to pursue something else, and we agreed on that. And so she pursued banking, and I'm still in here. And also what really fueled that even more was I didn't really want to be in acting to do acting. I've thought about it a couple of times that would I really feel comfortable seeing her playing somebody's wife, even though I know it's a bit what's the word, for lack of a better word,
delicate.
Not delicate as such, but
it makes you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah,
it's contradictory because you are playing
exactly. But I know that with all the knowledge that in the field, I should know that it's not real, it's not. But you can understand when she gets jealous when I play certain roles, because it's a human thing, and especially when that partner of yours is out there. But she's been.
Have you two watched a role together, like one of your intimate roles together, where you've sat to watch?
Yeah, we have.
Tell me about the first time.
My thighs suffered. She kept pinching me. When it came to some intimate scenes, that she thought that, that was close. Then she pinches me in the cinema hall.
You watched in a cinema hall?
With the premiere. The premiere. Normally we watch the first.
Okay, so what was the discussion like driving back home? And
it was like, no, I didn't know it was a trick. They said, no, I saw it. goes back and forth, you know, but then, you know, we try to not drag it and find the humor, you know, and all that, and at the end of the day, she will congratulate me. That was a good rendition or interpretation of the role, and we move on, you know, but as much as possible, it isn't because she doesn't like it or she's jealous, it's just my principle of not being comfortable, even way before I met her, and so...
You two have a child together?
Yeah, we do. We do.
I see. Fine bundle of joy, I guess.
Oh yeah, it is.
What do you see her becoming?
It's a him, actually.
It's a him.
Yeah,
sorry,
it's a boy.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't even started thinking about that yet because I'm enjoying every moment, you know, and it's very interesting and exciting when you pay attention to these little ones, and you know, even the smile that they put up, the little funny noises that they make, it's really an experience. And for now I'm getting used to the wake keeping, you know, and trying to do every 2 hours up because he eats a lot. Of course, I'm an expert in the diaper changing area as well. So you know,
where did you learn that from?
Oh, I practiced with my nieces, my sister's daughters. You know,
I see.
Because I took care of some of them.
I see.
Yeah. So
what else do you do at home? Do you cook? Do you clean?
I haven't done that in a long while. Cook, but when I cook, she tells me that mine is better. You know, especially when I do my favorite pork stew. You know, it's you know, she tells me I had to freeze some of the pork stew that I cooked in school in Joburg to bring home for her.
I see.
Yeah, because she had missed it, and so I prepared, froze it, and
so that has become a pastime for the two of you.
Oh yeah. So I do sometimes cook, but I've not done that in a while.
Yeah, wow.
I've not done that in a while.
Adjetey, any current projects that you're doing now, and what's it looking like going into the next few years? I mean, the industry is looking brighter than what we saw when there was a bit of a decline.
Right.
And Nollywood took over. Now things have leveled up a bit.
Yeah.
What do you want to see? I mean, you've already told me about the kinds of storylines that you even want, the diverse storylines.
Right.
Aside that, what else do you want to see happen? And what do you want to do with this?
What is really, what stands out for me and very encouraging is, you know, the young guys who are coming into the industry are not just coming in just because they love to be on the screen or do something in the industry, but they're coming in with a lot of skill, trained personnel, trained actors, trained choreographers. Recently, with the genre of action is beginning to open up because we have people like Kofi Mafo, who is a trained, he graduated from the LA School of the Stunt School, and so he brings his diverse knowledge, you know, and skill, expertise on set, and trains us. And so some of our action movies that are going to come up, there's a couple that I did, one that I did with Chris Attoh and John, and it looks really good. I mean, you'll be amazed at the quality of the action flicks and choreography. You know, sometime back it was a no-go area because it looked very funny and contrived, and you know, you laugh at some of the
Did you guys get hurt trying to do
Oh yeah, I got my back sprained because, you know, as actors, we haven't been really used to the action genre, you know, so our bodies are not that flexible when it comes to that. We're used to the, you know, the lover man kind of thing, family man going on. But action, which means that you're kicking, you're throwing, and it means that our bodies will have to be used to that level of activity.
Do you do anything for sport?
Well, presently, no. Unfortunately, you know, even though I love tennis, I can't remember the last time.
Did you ever play any?
A racket. A few times I did.
Do you follow sport in any way?
Very, very much.
Which
tennis is number one for me. Lawn tennis is number one for me, and then of course soccer, and then boxing. Yeah. So
what about boxing? Is it that?
Well, you know, boxing is, especially when, you know, somebody comes up and says that, look, I'm going to whip you, man. I'm going to beat you up. And then he goes there and gets whipped. You know, it's just, you know, I'm always looking forward to sort of whipping this goes talkative, you know, with the exception of people like Floyd Mayweather who really brags and still does. He walks the talk.
So you think he's going to beat Manny Pacquiao?
Something in me tells me he's probably a knockout. You know.
So he's going to win by a knockout?
Probably. You know, he might get away with a unanimous decision.
And you're prepared to bet your next paycheck?
Well, I'm not
that confident.
No way. When I have a son, no, man. that's too risky enough.
Adjetey, it's really been great sharing your company. It's been great sharing your company, and all the best with everything. It's been great sharing your company. Congratulations once again.
Pleasure. Thanks a lot.
Well, Adjetey Annan has been my guest, the man we all love to call Pusher. And so I say thank you to all of you for watching the show. I will be back next week, Saturday, with another edition and another surprise guest right here on Autograph. Thanks to the whole production team. Always keep it here on the Joy Prime channel. My name is Nathaniel Attoh. Have a wonderful weekend.